I have another video that shows you how to turn any regular fabric into bookcloth that you can use for your book projects, and I'll go through that process again at the end of this video. But what if you have a design that you've created yourself and you want to print that on fabric? This video will show you a couple of ways to do that so you can print on fabric from a laser printer or an inkjet printer. I show the second process, which is my favorite of the two, near the end of the video, so you can just jump to the end if you want to cut to the chase. But before you do that, you need to be aware that the single most important aspect of your printer is that it prints with ink that is not water soluble, because you will eventually be getting this paper damp with glue, even if you use my second technique, and you don't want the ink to run. So this is important no matter which method you use. It's not easy to tell from the technical description of your printer whether the ink is water soluble or not, and it has nothing to do with the brand. I have an HP desktop inkjet printer that will not work for this process, and an HP large format inkjet printer that does work for this. So the only sure way to know is to test your printer before you start on any major project to make sure that it will work. These two images are both from my desktop printer. One is printed on paper-backed fabric using the technique I'll show you in a minute, and the other is just printed on regular paper. I'm even going to heat set one half of this fabric print to see if that helps any. I'm going to get both of these wet so you can see what happens when your printer ink is water soluble. So as you can see here, once the fabric gets wet, the ink just runs and melts together. The side I heat set is no better than the other side, and it's actually quite a bit worse on the fabric just in general. The image printed on paper may seem to be holding up, but if you press on it a little or just let it sit, you may see the ink running off of it. So I would suggest that even if you think it seems moderately successful on paper, you should still test it on fabric before launching full steam into a big project. There are a lot of different ways that you can chemically prepare your fabric ahead of time to keep this from happening, but I don't have to do that because I have another printer that does work for this process. So fortunately, I've never really had to pursue those other options. This example was printed on my large format printer, which is also an inkjet printer, and as you can see here, nothing happens to the ink when it's wet. It doesn't run or drip. So it will stand up to all of the gluing that you'll need to do without ruining your image. So once you've proven to yourself that your printer will work for this process, you can start preparing your fabric. The first method I'm going to show involves freezer paper that you can buy at any grocery store. This paper is shiny on one side. This is the side that you will adhere to your fabric using an iron. By the way, I also make quilts, and you can use this same process to print images that you want to use for your quilts. Cut your paper and your material to more or less the size that you want. I always cut both pieces a bit larger than the final size and then trim everything to the exact size once I've ironed the two pieces together. Place the freezer paper on your ironing board or work surface shiny side up and place your material face up, if it has a right and wrong side, on the shiny side of the freezer paper. Iron the two pieces together with your iron on its hottest setting. If you think your material is the least bit susceptible to heat, then use a barrier fabric to keep from scorching the target fabric. I almost always use cotton for this process, and it will take a very hot iron. By the way, you can use plain white fabric for this process or add to a print that already exists on the fabric. I iron it from the material side first to keep an eye on the fabric and keep it from getting wrinkled. Once I'm sure I have it stuck down from this side, I turn it over and also iron it from the paper side. Once you've ironed the fabric front and back and you're confident that the freezer paper is firmly attached, trim it to the size that you want to run through your printer. For a desktop printer, that size might be 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14. For a large format printer, that could be almost anything. Once you have the fabric and freezer paper firmly ironed together and trimmed to size, then just load it into your printer and print on it as you would any piece of paper. Be careful to load it so you're printing on the fabric and not the paper side. That may entail putting it into the loader upside down, depending on your printer configuration. Once the image is printed, I peel the freezer paper off and then iron the fabric again with a very hot iron to really set the ink. I don't actually know if this is necessary or not, I just always do it. Probably a leftover from setting fabric paint back in the day. Now you're ready to make bookcloth out of your design, and to do that you'll permanently seal the back with paper. The whole point of sealing the back of the fabric with paper is to stabilize it and make it possible to use the fabric to cover your books. If you skip the step of applying a backing paper, you risk having glue come through the weave of the fabric and ruining your cover. That's what happened here. So you want to apply the backing paper, and you also want to glue it down with something washable and reversible, which wheat paste is, even once it's dried. Wheat paste is water soluble, so if it gets on the front of the fabric, it's no big deal. It can be washed off even after it completely dries. You don't want to use PVA glue when you're making book cloth. Just like using fabric without first backing it with paper, if you use PVA glue here, you risk it being pushed through the weave of the fabric, ruining your fabric. PVA isn't reversible. Once PVA glue dries, it's permanent. So first make some wheat paste, which is very simple to make and will take you about 5 minutes. I'm not going to show that process in this video, but you can watch my brief video here on making wheat paste to learn how to do that. You'll also need some rice paper or some other thin paper to back your fabric with. Rice paper is best because it's thin but strong when it's wet, and it's archival, so it won't turn your books yellow and brittle. I'll post a link below in the description for a great source for cheap rice paper. You'll also want a firm surface to attach the book cloth to while it dries. I'm using a glass shelf that I bought at IKEA for about $10. Cut enough rice paper to more than cover the fabric. You'll want the paper to fall past the fabric and adhere to the glass. If you try to do this with one continuous sheet of paper, you will find it hard to manage once it's wet and covered with paste. I always cut several smaller pieces because they're easier to handle. Before positioning your fabric on the glass or whatever surface you're using, lightly spray the surface with water so the fabric won't slide around. Place the fabric right side down and smooth it out. If your rice paper's been cut from a roll, then it's probably all curled up. If that's the case, spray it lightly with water to relax it. Cover the first piece thoroughly with paste. The next part is the trickiest, but there's no reason to rush this process because the paste will stay wet for a while, and it's pretty easy to untangle your paper when you're using smaller pieces like this. So take your time and place the paper so that it covers your fabric with the margins of the rice paper falling onto the glass. I use a brayer to gently roll the air bubbles out of the rice paper, starting from the middle and rolling out toward the edges. Then brush the paper lightly with a dry brush to remove any small air bubbles. Pay attention to the edges where the paper is overlapping the glass and make sure it's adhering to the glass. Apply paste to the next piece of rice paper. Carefully line it up with the first piece, making sure not to leave gaps where there is no paper and keeping the overlap with the first piece to a minimum. The second piece is usually a little trickier because of the alignment issue, but take your time and move the second piece around until you get it where you want it. Remember, you don't have to hurry this process. Make sure the entire piece of fabric is covered, with paper also adhering to the glass all the way around. Making sure it is sealed to the glass all the way around is what will allow it to dry nice and flat. Use the brayer to roll the bubbles out of each piece after you get it into place, and then finish it off by brushing out any small bubbles with a dry brush. Allow this all to dry thoroughly. I usually let it dry overnight, or I dry it out in the sun if I'm in a hurry to use it. Once it's dry, take a sharp knife and cut through the paper around the outside edges of the fabric. The fabric might stick a little to the glass, but once you've cut all the way around, you should be able to just peel it off. Now your book cloth is ready to trim and use. And this brings me to method 2 for printing your own images on your book cloth. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this one is my preferred method, and that's to make the book cloth first and then print on it. Once the fabric has been covered with rice paper and allowed to thoroughly dry, it is extremely stable, and it's very unlikely that it will jam in your printer. It's much easier to load, particularly if you're using a large format printer, and it prints perfectly. This method makes me much less paranoid about running fabric through my printer. You can do this with material that's already been printed on or with plain white fabric. This isn't a way to circumvent making sure that your printer uses non-water soluble inks though. It's still going to get damp once you start using it to cover your books, so you still need to test your printer and make sure it's appropriate for this process. So that's it. That's how to create your own book cloth using your own designs.